All right, well, welcome everybody to the August 2nd Delta Club Board of Directors meeting. I know we've got a lot to discuss, so we'll dive right on in. The first thing, as far as the meeting next week goes, what do you guys think? Do we want to do a hybrid meeting with the in-person component, or do we want to stick to Zoom? Any thoughts?
Do we
I guess
have a program that might, be a determining factor?
So unless anybody, and we can talk about some ideas if we need to, we still don't have a director of programs. The only thing I can think of that might be time relevant, I mean, we could probably pull a video if we want to play it, but I figured we could go over some of the upcoming events a little more in depth, maybe pull some pictures and stuff from like what to expect for new folks if they're interested in helping with the Bluff City Blues bike ride. I'm going to try to get in touch with Daryl and see what the details are for the MS Rockin' 150. And so, I don't know, the only thing I can think of is maybe doing something on that, and then a small preview of Swamp Stompers, but that's in January. Unless y'all can think of some fun videos to show. Any thoughts?
I can't think of anything right now.
Plug some stuff for Hamfest too.
Yeah.
If people have pictures or want to share personal experiences to try to drum up some more interest.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, it's kind of general, but maybe it just, I mean, we do allow time at the meetings that are coming up before the events to talk about the events, but I thought it might be, I don't know. I mean, if we need something, it might be worth filling in a little more in depth what to expect. Maybe community service events or Delta Club community service outreach or something, I don't know. Would there be any objection to that? No. Okay. Well, Mike, I'm going to try to think. I guess maybe listed as community service and outreach. But let me think on it, and I'll send you an email tonight or tomorrow with more. So, okay, so that being said, I mean, if we had an in-person component, who would be able to meet or come to the in-person part? So I've got Mike, John, Scott, Bob. All right, well, do we want to try hybrid then?
I can probably come.
Okay.
Well, if y'all are going, I guess I can make it.
I guess so. I mean, I guess I can too.
No,
Yeah.
I'm fine with either way.
Well, I do. I mean, that seems like enough people who would be able to be there to be able to try to support the hybrid option. I'll play around with the speakers again this week and make sure all that's set before we get there. And but I would like to see us try to keep the Zoom option for those who can't make it in. So, all right. Well, I guess we'll go on and take a vote. We'll vote on whether or not to have the meeting in the hybrid format, so in person and on Zoom. So all in favor say aye or raise your hand. All opposed, no. All right, the motion passes. All right. Okay, so I can't remember exactly what all we talked about at the last meeting.
So Mary Jean, that was hybrid meeting then, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Hybrid. So we will have a in-person component and a Zoom component.
Got it. Thank you.
Mary Jean,
Yes.
real quick, can I
Yes, sir.
see if anybody else had any questions about the repeater? I'll get out of here. You guys continue.
Yeah. All right, Rick,
Yeah.
have at it.
We did check the voltage on the external battery that hooked up to it multiple times because it had run down pretty low, by having the repeater turned off for months. But It was back up to great voltage settings, last Wednesday again, we double checked it. And which is good because that thing, the club paid $150 for it last year, I think it was, and it's a $220 now, the current price of that 100 amp hour battery. So anyhow, that's pretty much it. The repeater's looking great. I haven't listened to it much personally lately because, the original problem was the channel 30 waveguide problem that was eating the receive up. And then once we discovered the transmit power down, and that's why we shut her down, months ago because of 4-to-1 SWR or better. So it's looking super for the last 15 weeks. So we don't know why. And we'll just blame it on the tower climbers because they were involved at the time and now they're gone and everything's hunky dory. So if anybody has anything else, if not, I'll bail out of here.
I guess
Oh.
this is just confirming with Joe and then, I guess
Yeah.
more for Joe. All right, so we are officially back on the 8.2 frequency for the nightly information net, correct?
Yes.
Okay,
And so
And
you'll
then,
need to go back to the 440 net on Friday night.
all right.
Okay, sounds good. See you guys
Thank
later.
you, Rick.
Hopefully.
Rick,
live
I'm
and-
gonna put your picture of the meter in Sparks.
Okay. Like I say, it's a 2200 and 1000 or KW scale, and I had it on 20, which is peaked right there, which is pretty much, what you're getting out of the cavity. That was after the cavities and all the line loss, for the internal. So
Yeah. What scale were you on?
20-watt scale,
Okay.
but it was peaked on there. So, and if I
Okay.
flew it to the dummy, it's gonna switch on the back with a second position, which I had a dummy load on it. It would bump it beyond the, the 20 mark, which so.
Yeah.
It's looking good. Can't complain. Everybody's happy. Hopefully forever.
Last night it was a little bit different than previous nights, but
And I've listened a few times and heard some stations pretty ready still, but they were ready, I think, months ago, like Pat Lane, he's always kind of ready that I've heard him.
yeah.
Location, I guess. Or.
Well, his
antenna or-
J pole isn't but 10 feet off the ground.
There you go. So, hey, HTs are going to be touchy again as they always were, but so be it. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Take care, Rick.
Sure.
Thanks.
All right.
Mary
Um,
Jean,
Yes.
I called Daryl Sheffield and he said, yes, they are doing the MS 150. He needs about 20 people. 6 of them he needs 6 drivers, and they have a provision to buy gas for the drivers that are going on the route. And it'll be leaving from Landers, meandering into Mississippi and back to Landers each day. And the other 14 people would be 2 people per rest stop at the rest stops.
Okay.
Do you plan
Right,
on
so-
using the 9-1?
9-1 repeater.
Gotcha.
Okay. Do you know, I mean, we could type up something if we need to. Was he planning on getting anything to Mike for Sparks, or do we need to do that, you think?
He had to drop off the call real quick. He said he'd call me later on.
Okay.
I'll ask him. He probably wouldn't write it up. I'll try to write it up.
Okay. Yeah, I sent him an email earlier and I was gonna call probably tomorrow if I hadn't heard anything, because I know, looking at the dates, this would be the last Sparks issue and the last club meeting before that event. So
Right.
I know we want to get as much information as we can to help him get that. Okay, cool. Well, thank you for getting in touch with him.
No problem. I'd rather go ahead and get it done and not have a question mark.
For sure. And speaking of races, I know I was actually just pulling it up today. I probably won't get anything out tonight, but in the next few days, I'm going to try to go on and send an email out to anybody who's helped in the past that I know of for the Bluff City Blues bike ride, and try to kind of build that core for people who have previously attended, and then start at this meeting and next meeting recruit, which I probably won't push too hard on this one. So that way more emphasis can go on the 150, but because I know that's in early October, but that's something I'm going to reach out to and see if we can't get some volunteers for that. And then Joe, I'm actually I have not heard from Linda yet, because I know the plan was to take a break for the summer while the 8.2 issues were down for the YLNet. So I was emailing her real quick to see if she's decided if we're good to go on picking that up. But whenever I hear back about that, Mike or anybody else, send that email out and let us know, so we can get that updated in Sparks, whether it's going to continue or whether it's going to pick back up.
Okay.
All right. So next thing we need to do. So Daniel is he had wanted to step down from serving as the liaison, and Bob, he has sat in on quite a few VE sessions, so he may or may not have been surprised when we reached out to try to see if he would be willing to serve. But Bob has so graciously offered to serve as the VE liaison, and so since that's an appointed position, we just need to get a majority vote. But I don't know, Bob, I mean, I think you know most everybody here, but do you want to say anything about introduction or anything?
Hey, I've been a VE for several years, and have set in on several VE sessions, and I was actually talking to the previous VE liaison about stepping in, because Jeff wanted to get out, and then the pandemic happened and everything kind of went crazy, and I didn't want to do it then. But anyway, so when Joe called me and asked me did I want to do that, I thought, yeah, I can step in and try to do that now. And I've went over to talk to Daniel, I guess it is, and got all the equipment and forms and everything. And I just need to get he was going to send me a link for the ARRL VE link, so I could get in and get my name in there and so forth. But I think the major part of it's just kind of showing up and being there and doing it. Do we want to do a session next week?
If you want to try to get one, I'm sure folks may appreciate it, but if you need a little more time, we can let everybody know there won't be one. So that's up to you. Do you feel like you've got everything you need to try to do one? Or?
Yeah, I think I've got everything. And then Joe and others that have done it can kind of help me if I need some help. I don't know if anybody would be, show up to take a test anyway. All you do is set it up and try. What do you think, Joe?
I probably will not be there, but I'll be glad to help you. And if there's any questions, be more than happy for you to call me. And, I can, Dan didn't print his test booklets out. He just ordered them from ARRL, didn't he?
Yeah.
Okay. There was some money from an account that we used when printing did he hand that over to you?
He did.
He did. Okay.
Yeah. He gave me, I don't know, almost $500.
Yeah. Okay. Because that needs to be, it's gone back to Tom Fox, printing off the test booklets and all of that himself. And that's why the money is there, is to print that and have pens and pencils and paper and stuff like
Right.
that.
Right.
And also to buy a scanner when you have to having to scan in everything to send it in to headquarters now. So you've got to have a reserve there to be able to replace it when it breaks
Yeah. Or buy the ink for it.
and buy the ink for it and all of that. So
I think I've got everything. I just need to go over everything again. I've got some time between now and next week. Mainly, we just make sure we need to have at least 3 or 4 Vs there, to
yeah.
in case somebody shows up.
Did he give you the list of the VEs?
Yes.
Okay. We can try to, call them, email them, call them to check. If you're needing to print off the test booklets later on, I printed them off for Laurel just about a week and a half ago. So I went through that process, which it's a little bit, it's not totally intuitive. Let's say
Yeah,
that.
okay. Well, he went through everything he left me, and he left me several copies of each one.
Okay. Did he print off the new technician or just had tests from ARRL for the technician since it changed July the 1st?
He did have the new ones.
Okay, great.
Yeah, he pointed that out to me when he was showing everything.
Okay.
So
good.
everything looks like it's in good shape and ready to go pretty much. I think because we're a field testing center that you don't have to tell ARRL that you're having a session. Is that right?
It used to be you had to tell ARRL 30 days in advance, but
Right.
publicize it. But no, it's best to go on and publicize it or put it on ARRL that you're going to test. And it makes it, from what I understand, it makes it easier when it goes in to
Okay.
get it processed quicker.
Because that's the part I'm not sure about how to do that. Do I just log on my account on ARRL?
Yeah, yeah. All
Okay.
you do is go in on your account and pull up
VE.
pull up a test session.
Oh,
and you-
okay.
And for and you can put it the exam session in.
Okay.
If you have a question, give me a call.
Okay. I can do that. All right. Well, like I told you, I'll give it a try and see how it goes.
Great. Be more than happy to, help out. Sorry, I
Okay.
can't be there.
Okay. All right,
Thank
so
you
it
for
sounds like,
stepping up, Mr. Bob. Can you send me your contact information, please, so I can update the website and put it in Sparks as well?
sure.
Thank you.
And so it sounds like everybody is agreeable to go ahead and try to have a test session next week.
Yeah.
If you're up for it, we can do whatever we need to help with to
Okay.
get one going.
I'll call
Oh.
some of the other VEs that normally that I've tested with and make sure they're there and I'll probably have plenty of help.
I
Do
bet
do
you
we,
do.
do we ever make announcements on the net? I mean, I know we make announcements on the net that, if we have an in-person meeting, that there'll be VE testing. But
Yes.
do we ever put that out there as, contact Bob and, if you're interested in testing?
It's
know.
in the preamble of every night.
Right, but I'm saying, do we ever, or would we ever request that people contact Bob to let him know that, that they would like to test and not just take folks that are just showing up? I mean, because I
yeah,
hate
I'll,
I hate for Bob to set up and then have nobody show up.
well, but
you
if
know.
you put it up on ARRL and you say that you can allow walk-ins, you have to.
Okay,
Yeah, and I've been there before when nobody showed up, but it's okay.
okay.
Yeah, because I think part of our issue, I think, is just getting to where we're consistently offering the in-person component. And because once that happens, and it seems like there's interest there, then kind of like you're getting at. I mean, hopefully they'll either, if they're listening to the net and they want to test, they know, they'll be encouraged to call or email and let them know. Hopefully they'll look on the website and reach out and email them. Look on ARRL and reach out. Of course, like we said, if we mention walk-ins, then we may or may not get them. But
Okay.
Well, if we
At
ask
least
for
we can-
people
at
to
least we can say
commit,
we're
they may not
offering
want to.
yeah,
They might not
true.
want to commit if I ask them to.
Okay. So
True,
we
put the
just,
pressure on.
we just encourage folks to reach out ahead of time, but it's not
Yeah.
mandatory.
Well, Jeff told me he would have people call him from time to time and let him know they were coming.
Yeah, okay.
All my students, I put it there that call 2 or 3 days in advance to make sure the test session is going to occur.
The only thing I'm questioning about is now that, don't they have to have that,
FRN number,
FRN? They have to
Yes.
have that, right?
absolutely.
And okay, that's what I thought.
And we've been saying that. I don't think anybody's put a social security number on for 2 years.
Okay,
I started doing it even prior to the pandemic,
yeah.
because I didn't want social security numbers on forms.
Okay,
And,
that was the only thing I did. If they show up without one, they just have to go home?
unless they can possibly do it on their phone or laptops right there. And
Okay,
and I can talk you through. You can show them how to do it. But most places are say that you have to have the FRN number to
Yeah.
test.
okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna get out of here too. My wife's wanting me to have supper with her.
Well,
Thanks again, Mr.
Bob,
Bob.
again,
Unless there are any
If
other
there's-
questions.
if there's anything else we can help you with, it seems like most VEs might respond better if you can't get them by email. You've been a hand long enough to know they'll probably respond better to a phone call. But again, if there's anything we can do to help us by offering that, let us know. And thank you for taking the call and saying yes.
Okay,
Uh,
Mike, I'll get that
but-
stuff to you.
Thank you, Mr. Bob.
All right. See you guys.
Thank you.
Hey, take care.
All right. So I would like to entertain a motion to accept Bob as our VE liaison. So can I get a motion for that?
I'll make a motion.
So
All right. So
second,
Mike made the motion. Joe seconded it. So all those in favor of approving Bob Botter as our new VE liaison, say aye or raise your
Aye.
hand. All opposed, no. All right. It unanimously passes. Good deal. And thank you, Joe, for reaching out to him.
And do we have a need for additional VEs, or are there plenty of VEs available?
it's always good to have plenty of VEs. Wow, you're wanting to be a VE, Jim?
I may be offering.
Are you extra?
Yes.
Okay. Then,
Yep,
yes,
yep.
definitely. General class hams, we've got
And
enough,
limited.
extra class or advanced hams around that we really don't need general VEs because of the problems it create. When somebody takes a tech and then wants to go to general and they can't do it if a
Right.
VE is only a general.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. I think Joe's going to be the best one to ask, but I think you can log on and print the stuff off the ARRL website on VEs and study. And it's like an open book test of like 25 or 30 questions.
Oh,
and
there's a
then you
test
submit
involved?
everything. Yeah, I mean, but like it's open book, so it's really, I mean, it takes a little time, but it makes sure that you go through to read everything, and it's not too bad, and submit it, and then just step up when you're needed.
You don't want to embarrass
too bad.
yourself and screw up.
Yeah,
No, I don't.
yeah, I know. I wasn't too worried about it, and then when I realized, I was like, oh man. So, but
Okay.
that's not too bad though. Okay.
All right.
All right. So director of programs, that position is still technically open. I talked to Jason Terrell, KO4 DOH. I think it's KO4. And so he was interested in serving as the programs director, but he was not sure that he wanted to commit that much time to it. He is interested enough. He's starting to kind of talk to some folks, and he's going to try to line up some pretty cool programs for us. So one guy he's talking to in Nashville, he had his ham radio license and utilized it on the day of the Nashville Christmas Day bombing. And so he's going to work on that. And there were some others that he was going to try to reach out to, for like one guy who's skydiving. And when he goes skydiving, he gets on his handheld amateur radio, and he's talking to folks and making contacts while he's 20,000 feet in the air. So he's got some cool ideas and everything, but he didn't feel like he wanted to take on that commitment. So we still need to look for a director of programs. So Joe and I started talking about it today. But if anybody has any ideas for anyone who could serve as director of programs, definitely let us know, so we can try to do a little more with it, and get somebody going. We're getting late into the year. I mean, it'd be nice to go on and fill somebody in for the year, but at this point, we want to try to find somebody who we could, who could also continue on through at least next year. So they just have to have been to, within the past year, they need to have been to 6 club meetings. And of course, that does count on Zoom. So.
Well, Jason would have been my first nomination, so.
Yeah. Yeah,
And he
and I
is
think,
busy. I get it, you know.
yeah. And I mean, he seemed hesitant about some of his ideas. I thought they were good, so he might change his mind if he gets that to us, and that goes well. He might change his mind, but I don't expect that to be in the next month or two. So it'd probably be good to ask around still and all that. Let's see. Okay, so the last time that we all talked, we were talking about first aid and CPR class that would be for a couple of the different amateur radio groups in the area. And I touched base with Fred Miller today. So that, because I know it was kind of bouncing back and forth between the Shelby County Sheriff's Office and then Germantown Fire Department. And more than likely, we would go through the Germantown Fire Department. And he said that they've got plenty of instructors, and we need to pick a date for September or October that might work for a meeting. And so we can get back to that in a minute. And then more than likely, so when they do this, the only cost would be the card, and they said it might cost around $10 to get the certification card. But if somebody wants to take the class just as a refresher and not get the card, then it would be a free class on CPR. And I said first aid earlier, it's actually going to be just the CPR portion for this class. I apologize. And it'll be through ASHE. So Alpha Sierra Hotel India, the ASHE program. Let's see.
Is that just adult CPR, or was there still the option of child and infant?
I don't see anything where he said we could do child or infant. So I would guess more than likely this first class is going to be just the basic adult CPR.
Okay.
And one thing I talked to him about, I mean, I think depending on whether we go through the American Heart Association or whether we go through ASHE or whatever group, we might be able to, that's where we could incorporate maybe first aid, or that's where we could incorporate infant or child. But I think this might be just to kind of get our feet wet with this. And if the turnout's good enough and the interest is there, then we might be able to continue on with this. Of course, the other thing too is that with everything Germantown Fire Department does to help us do the field day down there, I think it's good to network with them and yet another form and create more connections that kind of keep us in the loop with them and all that. So, but I would assume that it's just going to be adult CPR since we're doing the Germantown one. So he said it would be up to us if we wanted to pick a few dates and let them know for what to choose from. So is there, because I know there are certain dates that we would not be able to, so like any weekend that, let's see. So I know like we wouldn't want to do it the 10th or the 11th because of the MS 150 bike ride, and then probably not the weekend of the 8th since that's Bluff City Blues bike ride. But does anybody have any preferences on weekends that would not be good? Because I thought I might just send them a few options instead of us picking a particular date. So are there any other weekends besides those that anybody says is the absolute not, we should block it off? Any preference?
Guess avoid Labor Day weekend.
Of
Is that
course.
also,
Okay.
is that around the 8th as well?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, the 3rd.
Oh, okay. I didn't bring a calendar up.
No, that's a good.
I may be out of town that weekend.
Okay.
I don't want to be the only one that is.
No, that, I mean, we don't want to do it on a holiday because more than likely if one of us has something going on, there's a good chance that other people will too. So, okay. Well, I'll just get him those dates as a no and let him maybe bounce it around with his members on narrowing it down any further and go from there. So, anybody have any questions about that? All right. So, yes.
No, I just said no. I have no questions.
I'm gonna, well, I'll guess I'll cover it real quick. So we talked about doing the PayPal and the website thing. I talked to Jim and Mike a little bit. So the PayPal account has been created. Thank you, Jim, for doing that. I'll let him speak
no need
more
to
on
thank
some of the
me.
issues. But we are gonna, I guess, well, do you want to let everybody know where that
I can
stands?
explain. Yeah, so I created the PayPal account, tied it to our region's checking account. Everything seemed fine for a couple of days, and then I got an email from PayPal saying that they were putting a limitation on our account. It's because they restricted our account, but with no explanation whatsoever as to why they were restricting it. Just that it was a oh, here I can read what it says. At PayPal, we value a safe community for our customers to do business. We noticed activity in your account that's inconsistent with our user agreement, and we no longer offer you PayPal services. Based on this decision, if applicable, you are no longer eligible for PayPal seller protection. Now, we're not selling anything, so that's not an issue. There shouldn't be. This will apply to all existing and future cases you receive. Any bank or credit card information linked to your PayPal account cannot be removed, nor can it be used to create a new account. And it goes on a little further and gives me a reference ID. But there is absolutely no explanation as to what was inconsistent with their user agreement. So I'm in sort of this circular trap, I guess, with PayPal, and every time I do a search to see how to remove this limitation, it tells me to go to the resolution center and to click on each item to resolve. But when I go to that, it there are no items to resolve. So I attempted to call PayPal and sat on hold for an enormous amount of time, and then didn't get any answer as to what's going on. So I need to call and talk to somebody. So right now we're just kind of in limbo. So I'm not sure what, like I said, there's no explanation. So, and because I guess because they've restricted our account where we can't use our existing banking information to create another account, we can't attempt to run through this again. And there's no option on their website to, to reach out to somebody there. So I need to talk to somebody in person. So I don't know how long it's going to take, but I'll set aside some time to sit on hold with them.
Yeah, because I know the next step after that would be to link the website to PayPal, and so I guess I may wait until we get that resolved, because if we can't, I get because I know you forwarded the email. It's been a minute since I've read it. But, does it look like we can still use it? They would just charge us the higher fees, and then we just can't
No,
remove it?
No,
Or is it completely locked out?
It's completely locked down, that we couldn't even use just a regular business account and pay the higher fees. It's like they detected some, I don't know, like some activity that they don't approve of. So I don't understand that, because we haven't made any transactions whatsoever.
Yeah. Technology. Oh,
So
man.
yeah, I'm sure it's an automated thing.
Yeah.
Everybody has some kind of fraud protection that will that'll lock down your account for.
I wonder if
various
somebody
reasons.
else trying to use our account information or something.
That's a good point. I wonder, well, we talked about it a couple years ago, so I wonder, it might not hurt. Do you want to reach out to David and see if he ever tried to maybe link it a long time ago?
Oh, yeah, I didn't think about the fact that he.
I mean,
might
I
have-
didn't think
if
we
he
were going to do
if he
anything,
created
but,
some type of account, then if that banking information was already in there.
because I don't think, I mean, at the time, I think everybody kind of decided against it, but there was enough interest that he may have gone in and just tested it out to see.
Yeah.
And so that might be why.
That would certainly explain things. Yeah. Okay. I'll reach out to David and ask him.
If not, yeah, I guess, I mean, I hate to put pressure on you, but if you can, just keep making calls and try to get a hold of somebody, because I guess, yeah, we need to figure out what's going on. But thank you for doing that, though. So we're almost there.
I don't know, it doesn't feel like we've gotten very far.
We'll get there eventually.
Creating the account was a piece of cake. All right. Yeah, so I will I'll reach out to David and also get back on the horn with PayPal and see if I can get somebody who can explain to me what is going on.
Cool. Well, so yeah, after Jim gets that handled, I'm gonna get in touch with him and Mike, and we'll set up a Zoom conference to where we can make sure that we link the PayPal account to our website. And then once we kind of get some progress with that, if it's close to a board meeting, we'll probably wait for the board meeting. But if it's pretty quick, then we'll send out an email or something to let you guys know. So I still figure, even if we get everything connected, let's say Jim figures it out and has it solved even tomorrow, I still don't know that I'd want to go live with it in the next month. Like, I'd like to make sure we test it out and make sure all the kinks are set before we let them before we make it at live with the rest of the membership. So thank you again for doing that.
No problem. My pleasure.
Any
want me to go-
questions?
I'm sorry, go ahead.
All right. What were you saying, Jim?
I was gonna ask if you wanted me to go over the rest of the treasurer's stuff.
Give me just one more point and then we'll do
Oh, sure.
the
Okay.
board report.
Oh,
All right,
okay.
so something to think about. We don't have to know today unless you know for sure. But it is that time of the year where we have to figure out who's going to be willing to serve another year on the board of directors. And then if we don't have somebody to fill a position, who we can get in that role. So this month, I'll need to appoint a 3-member nominating committee this month, and then anybody can really be on it. I mean, I think it's typically Joe is typically one of the key ones behind who ends up running anyway, because he's willing to get out there and talk to folks. But I know we've got quite a few who talk to everybody as well to draw in help. But so the nominating committee will be appointed this month, and then the nominations will be made in the October meeting, and then the election is in November. And technically nominations could be made on the floor in November, but to keep things smooth and to keep things quick, we'd rather encourage anybody to be nominated by October, so that way it just makes things a little bit smoother. Because if there is going to be a runoff or an actual competition with vote, it'd be nice to know ahead of time just to make things a little bit smoother. But if not, the nominating committee will come up with a slate of officers and go from there. So has anybody thought about it? We can go through the list on who's here now. John, or would you be willing to serve another year?
Yeah, I haven't really done anything this year, so.
All right, and then Carolyn, are you still thinking?
No, yeah, I'm starting to get scheduling conflicts, especially Tuesday evenings.
Okay. All right, Jim. And if y'all
Yes.
need more time to think on it, we can, but you said yes.
Yes, you can put me down.
Okay. Joe.
Yep.
All right. Scott,
I'd like to run against Joe.
good
No, I'm
luck.
You can have
I'm
it.
teasing. I'm teasing. No, oh no, thanks.
That's a job and a half there.
Ooh,
Well,
probably
you
two.
you can make the job as much of it as you want, really.
That's true.
I mean, you could do
Right.
one class a year, possibly, but but
No,
with the
you got
with-
big shoes to fill.
Yeah.
with the kids wanting instant gratification these days, people won't wait 6 months for a class.
I can't remember how long it took me to get my license when I tested. I want to say it was like 6 or 8 weeks to get my license back.
Mine was 8 weeks.
I get it overnight.
Scott, what about you?
Well, it all depends on if you can find anyone else to do it. If you find someone else to run against me, well, I'll take that. But
Tap somebody on the shoulder.
Yeah.
I'm good for another year. I didn't really do anything this year, but I mean, that's fine.
I know it's like the one position that's had a little bit of a break. Of course, I don't know. The couple times that we've had hybrid, you had a lot.
I had a lot to do.
You
so.
certainly had a lot to do. So, yeah. And
Yeah.
then Mike, what about you?
I'm in unless you want to make a change.
Thank you, Mike.
Yes. Yeah, it seems like you're getting comfortable now.
Yeah, I'm
I mean,
picking
you're
up.
doing good with Sparks, but especially with the website, it seems like you're doing a lot more. So you're getting into the fun part of it.
Yeah.
All right, and then I'm the same as some of you guys mentioned. If somebody else is interested at all in running, they can have at it. But if not, I'd be willing to serve another year or so. All right, so secretary, I know we're working on programs, and then I imagine Barry may be good, but I guess we'll see kind of how things go. So we'll check with him, and that's a little more specific with his position. And then Lynn, we can check with him. But all right, so I know we'll look at we'll look at the roster after this meeting. So Carolyn, whenever you send that out, what we'll do is we can look at that and see, because again, the base of it for an officer, and I know you guys are all familiar with it, but out of the past 12 months, they just need to have attended 6 meetings. So the other side of that is that by the time they would be nominated in November, they would need to have attended 50% or more of the club meetings. So even if they're at 5 meetings in the past year, that's something where if there's somebody that we think has potential, we can tap them on the shoulder. So
Right.
let's see. Okay, so I know for formality, I know a lot of us are going to be kind of talking and asking around anyway, but just to formally create that nominating committee, since it's in our bylaws, Joe, would you be willing to serve on that nominating committee?
I'll serve, but I don't want to be chairman.
Okay, and let's see. I'll tell you what, John, is that something you would be willing to do? Serve on that? No, I mean, I don't
will
expect this to
serve
really
and
take
be
up a lot of time, but more for, like I said, just formality, because I imagine a lot of it's just going to be just talking to people.
Was basically right now 2 positions, isn't it?
Yeah, secretary and
sure.
program.
Secretary. I'll serve and be of service.
Okay. You're breaking up a little, but I only heard the part that said I'll serve and be of service, so we're going to hold you to that. Let's see.
Quote from John.
Mary Jean,
Lewis.
I'd get an outside person off the board. Also,
Who would be, no, that's a good idea. Who would be a good one to ask, you'll think?
I'll get back with you on it.
Harry Hayes, our new judge.
Well, I don't know. She's been around long enough, and I know she normally doesn't have a lot of time, but she may for this. What about Carrie Blackwell? I mean, I know
Yeah.
school's starting back, so maybe not, but I think she knows enough people that she might have some ideas where we can think on
Yeah.
it. Okay. Well,
She
we'll,
might not be home right now. I just passed her school and there were cars galore at the
Yeah.
school.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I would say, Carolyn, maybe leave out the names for now in the minutes.
Okay,
Because
sure.
technically, I don't think we have to. It just says August. It doesn't say by the board member, by the board meeting, or by the club meeting. So we'll start with Joe and John, and then if we want to brainstorm, and we can email or call and figure out that third person. And if it's in time enough to get it in the minutes, then we can always maybe give it to
Okay.
you. But if not, you maybe just, there's a 3-person nominating committee.
Yeah, I've got that down. Yeah.
Okay. Right. Well, we'll start off with officer reports. So, Jim, since you were so eager to get to your part, we'll start off with you.
Okay, so I did send out the treasurer's report earlier today. We had a little more financial activity this month than last. So first of all, I want to publicly apologize to Scott that I do have a check. Oh, it's not, it's blurred out. Check, it will be in the mail to you tomorrow, sir. My apologies for not getting it to you after you reminded me last month.
Do you want to, like I said, I just sent, Jim, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I sent you an email. Do you want to hold the check? Because I've got to go probably and get snacks. Or have you already written the check?
I've already written it.
Okay. All right. I mean, because I'll probably be sending you another
Another one for next week.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So
All
your
right. So I'll go ahead and get this in the mail to you, and then on Tuesday, if you have more receipts for me, I'll just cut you an additional check then.
Well, just bring the check to Tuesday, be fine.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll do that.
Yeah, not a problem.
Okay. All right. So we started the month with our checking of $23,565.04. I don't know if you guys like hearing these numbers or not, but I'm going to go through them anyway. We had a deposit of $179.75. That is including the including membership for 3 individuals. Oh, there you go. I'm sorry. I guess I'm looking at 2 different computers, and so because I'm on VPN with one of them. So that 179.75, that's comprised of the reimbursement from Neshoba for field day supplies, as well as 3 memberships. There was one prorated membership of $10, and then we had 2 renewals at $20 each. And then I did write a check for $456.44 to Mary Jean for all of the supplies that she had to pick up for the club or for field day. We are still waiting on a check from Mara for their 1/3 of what was used. And then you'll also see there was a online fee of $20.95, and that was for the State of Tennessee annual report fee that finally came through. So that brings us to an ending balance of $23,267.40. Our CD continues to grow slowly there. We have not made any decision yet about what we're going to do when that comes due in October. So I think it's October. I will double check that. That's been in the back of my mind that we need to do something with that. And I know that in the past we've spoken about rolling some of the money that is in the checking into some type of CD. I know that we were hoping for better interest rates, so I don't know what we're going to do, and I'm willing to take any guidance that you guys have there. I'm not sure who even needs to make that decision.
Probably just need to vote on it, and I suppose we could vote on it now, or we could wait until next month. I personally don't have any CDs, but I would think, I know we've had a lot going on. There's been a lot of uncertainty, especially with the repeater. And so I don't know, would it make sense to only either roll over this CD that's about to come due and then leave the extra money in the bank for a little while, like half a year or so, and then do a second CD? Or is that something, would it benefit us to have 2 CDs started at the same time?
I think we should leave some in the bank.
Yeah, I think to make sure that we don't have to buy hard line.
Yeah, I don't think that we need to make any decision about the CD just yet. The existing one. I'll start gathering some information about interest rates and see what products are available and what makes sense, and then present that.
Okay.
All right. And whenever, I know we're a little early on it, but whenever we get there, if because I'm trying to think. I know we had switched over when we went over to get everything switched over at the bank. It had Linda and Steve's information on the CD. So from when we did that, so if and I know we switched that over to our information, but if you need me to go up there for any new paperwork, like if they won't take that and just renew it, and you need me for any new paperwork to keep 2 people on there, let me know, and I'll be happy to come up whenever and all that. Of course, we've got a few months, but just let me know.
Right.
So cool. All right. Well, thank you for doing all that. I know there's been a lot to do this month, but any questions for Jen?
I have forgot, or I have not asked in the last few months, but the IRS was filed as well as the state.
Yes, sir.
Great.
Yeah, the IRS is super easy.
What is that? Something?
It's like a, oh, I think, I think David called it a postcard or something like that, but it's a 1099 or you know what, I can even look it up online.
Yeah.
But,
You don't have to, as
um,
long as it's clear. I just
Yeah.
wanted to make sure that the nonprofit status was still. We'd lose quite a bit probably if we lost the nonprofit status from estates and stuff.
Right. Okay.
Good.
Awesome. Carolyn?
All right, we have one new membership and a few renewals. Now, one we processed last month, but the actual form has come through this month, and that is Robert Murray, KN4OEF. He's a renewal. New member Jennifer Boardman, KX4YG. And she's also a VE. And Jose Ibarra, KJ4TCJ. And that's it. So do we have a motion to accept these?
So move.
All right, is there a second? Or Joe made the motion. Is there a second? Jim seconded
One
it.
second.
All in favor of accepting the membership applications, raise your hand or say aye.
Aye.
Boardman's
Any
on the bus.
Oh, good.
Oh, okay.
Any
That's good.
opposed, say no. All right, the motion unanimously passes.
Now, we actually did vote on Murray at our last meeting.
Yeah,
That one,
yeah.
yeah, so
Yeah.
I'm not sure
Okay.
if that needed to be listed again or not. Just the check was deposited this month.
Okay. We did get a letter from Nashoba. I can share it to the screen if you want, if you can give me the, oh, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, you just have to enable it.
All right, try it now.
Alrighty. Oh, where'd it go? Alrighty. Okay, are we getting it? Whoops. Oh, no.
Got green grass
How about that?
there.
Okay, so it says, Mary Jean, thank you for doing such a wonderful job of providing a wonderful selection of food during field day. Regards, Brandy Miller. So, all right. Oops.
All right.
Yes, Mary Jean, thank you very much for all the work that you did there. I know you had a lot of running around.
Well, yeah, you're
Screen
welcome.
back.
I was happy to, and let's see.
Carolyn, you might scroll up and with your cursor.
There we go. Okay, thanks.
Yeah, I was happy to, and it was not near as time consuming as last year. And I think I learned a lot last year. And I know Scott was a huge help last year, and even this year with just being able to use, some of the Delta Club stuff and all that. So, and certainly if we didn't have folks showing up to help out, then, we wouldn't have a need to buy the food. So happy to do it. And all right, anything else for us, Carolyn?
No, that's it. Thank you.
All right. And Scott, before you go, I just realized when this meeting started that I forgot to send you the list of inventory of what I had. So the second this meeting is over, if I haven't done it during the meeting, you will have the list of what was left over what we bought back for field day supplies. So if
Okay.
you want to go,
Yeah,
give
just
us an update.
well, you got to tell me. Anyway, what do we want for snacks for Tuesday? Do we have any special requests? Or do we want the usual suspects of our snacks? Now, granted, this is August, so this will probably be taken to take on the bus for Huntsville. So do we want anything out of the ordinary that we usually haven't done in the past? I'm looking for any suggestions. I just won't get anything, for snacks. It doesn't really matter to me. Also, I looked at the weather for next Tuesday. It was like we had a high of 91. I don't know what the heat index next Tuesday is going to be, but Joe, do you know anything about the church being open, or is this something that I need to call, touch base with, or is it something you can?
It's open.
Okay,
They're voting Thursday.
Thursday. Okay, well, we're Tuesday, so we're good.
Yeah.
The
The voting machines might be in the corner, but hopefully they don't block the closet door.
only thing that if we're doing testing, who's ever shows up for testing, can we just make sure that we have ice and let me know if we have ice? That way, if I need to go get ice before I get there, I can go get ice. That's the only thing I ask, who's ever there to do the VE testing. And also, if it's hot that day, if someone could turn on the AC a little bit lower before we get there, it'd be appreciated.
Okay.
I tell you what, Scott, if it helps, because I know it has been hot, and I thought about this last time had we met in person, but if I need to go by, because I live only a few minutes from the church, and so if I need to go by even in the morning to make sure, maybe knock it down a little, so it'd be really cool by that afternoon. I don't mind doing that too.
I don't want to take too much out of your day. I mean, we're looking for a couple hours, and usually it works good when they're testing because they're there a little bit earlier. So, but you're really welcome to. It doesn't really matter to me. I was just trying to say an hour or two, but just really the ice is what I look into. We ran into a problem where I had to go get ice, and it'd be nice to know I can just stop by the ice machine. It's a lot easier than getting it from Kroger or something up the street. So that's the only thing I was looking at for the early paper. Also, I just wanted to, Bob, since Bob's going to be the person doing the testing, we were keeping up with the key assignment.
Right.
We need to update that key assignment for Bob.
From Dan to Bob. Yeah.
Yeah. Do we need to update that in any form or fashion? I don't know if we want to keep a record of, I've got 2 keys now, but I was just wondering about the keys situation. And
Okay.
I mean, that's all I have. If no one wants to see certain snacks, then I'll just go to Sam's this weekend and pick up some stuff. The usual suspects of drinks and snacks for the Huntsville. And Joe, you can tell me if you need anything special. I'll just go ahead.
I don't need any, if we need something, I can get it at the store.
Okay. All right. I just was going to go ahead and get everything for that.
You'll need to have an inventory of what you got so I know what to additional to pick up.
Okay. Well, that's what I was waiting for. I'll get the list and I'll update it, send a copy.
Okay.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Yes, thank you for doing that, and enjoy your tax-free shopping for your food products.
Hey, that's gonna be pretty cool. I need to stock up on that.
Yeah. Let's see. Joe.
Test for classes, we've got a tech class going. 8 students finished the instructional period. Due to voting on the 4th, the testing will be on the 11th. And the demonstration will be on the 18th of August. And that's what I have for tech class. I'm debating whether to try to get a tech class in September, October or not. I really would like to have a little bit of a gap. This has got to be a full-time job. But so I might just not have one, and I know we're not going to Maine, so September and October could be, but I think I'll just wait and do a general class in November and December. Then the Huntsville Ham Fest, we've got 27 paid. I do have all the checks. I have not deposited them. I held off because if it came up to where we were needing to cancel the bus trip, I didn't want to have to make Jim write 25 checks or so to reimburse. I just send the checks back to the people. I'll go ahead. It's getting now to where we're going to have to send in the money anyway. It's getting to be a point of no return. And so, and I'm not sure exactly what the last cancellation can be. I didn't look at the contract today. See, I think it's 2 weeks in advance, which is when the money is due. But I will deposit the checks tomorrow. And we got 27. I've got one student who has a father-in-law who's a ham, and he inquired about going on the trip. I've got to find out whether he wants to go or not. If that's the case, then it'll be 29. At 27, we're at $520 in the hole. At 29, we're $375 in the hole. So we're getting right close to what our goal was to keep from losing more money than we wanted to.
Sounds good. Any questions for training or Huntsville?
We do have 2 tables at Huntsville.
What's the
Right.
maximum number of people that could possibly go on the bus?
34
Okay.
on a 60 pack. If we had 35 people sign up, I'd get a 56 passenger bus,
Okay.
and it would still be at the break even point.
I was just curious.
Yeah, and I know Joe's mentioned this before, and we still, there's still the chance that folks may not show up. But I mean, it is a non-refundable, they can sell it option. So, but I know I'm excited. So I started, well, I won't go into all of it now because it's a meeting, but I started working on some projects. So I've been creating my list of things I need to look for and buy, because there's a lot of stuff I know I need to get that's just small, tiny objects and everything. And just getting a chance to get my hands on some of the stuff to see it in person. So
I have a
I'm looking
feeling I
forward
know
to
what you
Huntsville.
may be working on.
Huh?
I think I might know some of the stuff you might be working on.
I think you might, because I was inspired by Field Day and tried to, while it was still, there was that little spark there, I tried to dive on in and take advantage of that. So, but I'm excited. I'm taking pictures along the way and can go into more of it later, but I'm excited. So, all right. Anything else for us, Joe?
No, not that I know of.
Okay. I know Mike's got quite a bit. John, do you have anything?
I really don't. I'm looking forward to being on this nomination committee so that I can finally contribute. But yeah, I don't really have anything specific.
Well, while it's your turn, I didn't want to say anything in the Aries meeting, but, and I don't think, I mean, unless there's an issue, but if you need to use, like, if you're wanting to start meeting in person for Aries and the hospital is still a ways away from that, I mean, I would say it's up to the board, but we, you know, I don't know why we couldn't consider that if that's something you ever want to do, is look at getting in touch with the church to see the schedule to use that for Aries. So, I don't know. So, all right, Mike.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. So I sent an email out with, you know, the list of things, mainly because I wanted to look at the recommend for removal from MailChimp, but there are some other things, you know, I was able to get done this month. It was hot, so I stayed inside. So I did update several of the pages. But, you know, something we do need to start looking at, I think, is updating the several pages of our website. You know, the silent key page hasn't been updated in some time. The FCC page looked a little dated, so we might want to think about putting a link to the page or doing something there. I know there's some pictures from past field days that we might want to put in to update that. Maybe put a link into Ham Calendar on our events page to keep that up. The YL page was, you know, it looked a little bit aged, so maybe we can do something there. And you know, I would like to take some, you know, stock images from some of our meetings, or, you know, from field days maybe, and put in from where there's a lot of stock images for MailChimp or for GoDaddy. So that would be some good options, I think, for us to address on our website, just to make it look a little bit better and a little bit more personal, I think. So if anybody has any input to, you know, updating any of those pages, I would really like to have any of that data so I can go out there and update any of those pages. And then any of the other pages that are listed above, if, you know, there's any changes that you guys would like to make, you know, just let me know, and, you know, I can make changes to that as well. I kind of want to keep it up to date. So from a website perspective, you know, that's kind of where I would like to go and what's been done in the last month, if you will. I'll be updating the, you know, for August to say that we're going to have a hybrid meeting and that we will be doing testing and that kind of thing. So I'll be doing that. So any questions about the website or any input there? Okay, we'll go ahead and go to the MailChimp. I did send out this list, and I did update the verbiage. So Mary Jean, if you could go back to that second tab. I did update that verbiage to say the reason for removal is it's not on the dark roster. Instead of not being a member, that email address does not show up on the dark roster. And there have been no opens in 2022. So if you guys want to go through and look through that and give, you know, I'm not making any removals until, you know, we talk about it and we all agree to go ahead and do that. But essentially those emails are not on our dark roster, and they have had no opens, which means that they have not viewed that email in any of 2022. And so, you know, we're at 7, you know, we sent out 7 club meeting notifications, and then 2 other notifications. I think one was for Free Fest and one was for Ham Fest. So we've sent out a total of 9 emails this year, and these 122 emails have not opened any of them. So, and the reason I'm looking at trying to reduce the number of emails that we send, so that if we do want to send out more emails as a club, that would give us some flexibility, because I think that we are limited to around 2,000 to 2,100 email, you know, send to email addresses per month. So I'd like to try to get it down to, the 500 so that we could send out 4 a month if we wanted to. So that's where we need to go. I think where I'd like to go with the subscriptions on MailChimp, and then we really do need to I need to do a better job of keeping up with changes to these email addresses and to the subscription. So I think that, I need to create an SOP for maintaining those email addresses. So, when we do have silent keys, or, we do have members that change their email address, or, there's a change in their dark membership, or, any other scenarios that we do go in and provide maintenance of those email addresses. So I'm maybe putting something together and submitting it to the board for like an SOP to maintain that list. So that's kind of what's been going on in publications. Any questions or comments?
I'll look at some emails and see if I can help out.
I know one of those
Okay.
emails on that list that hadn't been opened was the silent key, so. Really eye-opening. I will say that. That's
Who was the silent key?
Bill Stevens.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so, that just shows, John, that, I don't have a procedure for removing those. So, I think
Fine.
that we need to initiate something like that, I guess.
Yeah.
I need to do this.
And that's a good idea. I know there's a lot of documents I've got that I've been trying to work on that are like things that we need to do as a board at certain times of the year. And then I know a little bit we've worked on like things to do like for each office and position. So yeah, that's a good point. Like if there's anything that we feel like we need to document, because I know, a lot of us have been around for a few years and we know when things need to happen or who needs to do certain things or whatever, but I don't think it hurts to get any of this down somewhere, like kind of like you said, not necessarily in our bylaws, but kind of in an SOP,
Right.
where because we all won't be here on this board forever, and and I mean, hopefully there's always going to be kind of a, not really layover, but an overlap with folks who have been around for a while with newcomers. But
Right.
the reality is that, I mean, there could be a year down the road where
Yep.
every single board member doesn't run again
Right.
for reelection, and they'll be kind of left hanging. So yeah, anything that you think we
Right.
need to do would be good. But this looks great, Mike.
I'm in my second year now, and I'm just now getting comfortable with doing things on the website. So, if we did have more SOPs like that to update each page or something like that, it may help the next person in succession to, get up to speed a lot quicker, possibly.
Yeah. It looks good. Yeah, I'll like kind of like Joe referenced, I'll go through and look at some emails, because there's a few on there I saw, but I remember seeing something where emails were updated, and so that might be why they're still on there, because it's the older email.
Yes, that's correct. So, that is a possibility, because like I said, not a member of DARK is probably not an accurate statement, but that email is not linked to a DARK member right now.
Yeah, on the roster. Yeah.
Yes.
Gotcha. Good deal. All right. All right. So with the stuff on the website pages to review, is that something that as you work on, you're going to reach out to folks, or are you kind of doing that as an open call that if we have that to send it to you? Or
What I
both?
may do, Mary Jean, is just like send out some emails, because, gathering the silent key data, I don't know if there's one person that kind of holds that master list, if you will. I mean, Carolyn, do you maintain that as part of secretary duties, or Mr. Joe, do you just like keep that filed away in your head? I'm really not sure, how to proceed with that one.
I highlight them on the spreadsheet as they come.
Okay. So maybe so is that in the master list that you send out every month?
Yes, it is, since I've been secretary. I don't know
Okay.
about previous years. It may have been done differently.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, the last one was September of 2020. So I know, Dan Campbell, he's showing on there. So I mean, it only has to
David
go
Campbell.
back. David Campbell, yes.
Bill
So
Stevens, Bill Hall.
yeah. Yeah. So we just probably need to catch up from the COVID time, maybe, or
What was the last one being September 2020? I didn't get that.
I do not recall. I apologize.
Oh, okay. Because I send out the master list every month. So
Right.
I hope you're
But-
getting it.
Yeah, but I haven't been gleaning that piece of data though. So
Oh, I see.
yeah, that's something I'll need to start to continue to do. And then I think I might maybe work with Mr. Joe on the FCC page, possibly. Would that be okay?
Yeah.
And then Mary Jean, I think that you had said that you had several pictures from field day that you might could send.
Yes.
And then the events page, I think it would be pretty simple just to link the ham calendar, because we already talked to it in Spark. So I thought about just linking to that. And I really don't know who to reach out to for the YL page.
Linda Lassiter would be the one, but she mentioned that she was ready to step down. So I mean, you could email her, but if not, I sent her an email today, and I'll try to be in touch with her over the next few days to see what she's thinking.
Okay.
Because I imagine even if she doesn't, somebody will. But yeah, Linda Lassiter is the one right now in charge of Wild.
I have a question. Hey, Mike,
Yes.
have you sent that list that you shared with us? The latest one?
Yes, sir. I sent it this afternoon.
Oh, this afternoon? Okay, I was looking, because I probably,
Well, about an hour before our meeting.
all right, I could probably tell you if you have any ending in UTHSC, they probably have not showed up for anything. So
Okay.
just the .uthsc.edu.
Yeah.
Probably be a good, I saw one, and I know that he's not here longer with UT.
Uh-huh.
Now that one, Kimberly Norwood. Oh, haven't seen that person. There's another one too. I was just trying to help you. I saw another UTHSC.edu, but you can probably, it started with an L. Wash Bill. Okay, all right. There's another one too. It starts with an L. It's an L. L-I-M. There he is. Wait a minute. Excuse me. Number 12. You can take that off. He's no longer at UT. So you might want to check those. Ideally, I would not want to use my UTHID email for this. I would personally, but that's their prerogative on that. But maybe if that helps you out a little bit.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Okay, Mary Jean, that's pretty much all that I had. Any other questions or comments?
Well, I will make a comment. So I know, and I thought about this after I shared it, but with having the email addresses on there, it is under, we don't have the board meetings open to the public on the YouTube channel. So it goes out to just only you guys with the link can view it. So we don't have everybody and their brother looking on YouTube on the public access to see those. More of a security privacy thing versus anything relevant. I just wanted to point that out though. Awesome. Well, thank you for doing that. And let's see. Yeah, sounds good. Any questions or comments for Mike? Okay. Let's see, and I think that's everybody. And that's 8. All right, so real quick, just a few. So again, just upcoming dates. I think we've talked about almost everything on here so far, but on the 20th, we've got Huntsville Ham Fest. Thank you again, Joe, for coordinating that. We've got the Rock and Ride one seat. And on the 9th, or excuse me, on September 10th and 11th, we've got Bluff City Blues on October 8th. And then when we get a date set for that CPR class, we'll get that added on. Of course, get it to Mike and we'll announce it and everything when we know. And then
Can you send this to me, Mary Jean? I just need to add, I think, the dark member meeting
Oh,
and election
excuse me.
day.
Yeah, I can. Well, actually, you should have it with the Zoom link. I sent the agenda out with it.
Okay,
It's just at the bottom.
okay.
Yeah, I try to, and I think this, I'll double check and make sure it's the same one. I think it should be. So the only thing, we don't have to do anything about this yet, but it's worth keeping in mind. I know
Right.
every other year, it seems like we have to watch out for election day on our membership meetings, and it will fall on November 8th. The membership meeting will fall on election day. So if we could meet only on Zoom that day, or if we do hybrid, then we will probably have to look for an alternate location. So that's just something to keep in mind for November.
Mary Jean, I checked the contract 15 days prior, so we have to put in a cancellation on August the 5th, which is almost here.
All right.
And I need to send a check then.
Yep.
Excuse me, I think I got
All right.
something caught in my throat.
If I get that
well,
mailed
I'm-
out tomorrow, is that acceptable
fine.
and soon enough? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I will get that sent out. I'll notify you when that's done.
Okay, and then I'll email Roger that Hyatt at Klein that it's in the mail.
Very good.
If
Sorry,
you
Mary
can
Jean.
provide me the check number.
Sure.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good with making with going, and unless something comes up and I'm sick, I'm happy to help with anything with selling anything or anything I need to on that bus trip.
Okay.
All right, anything else?
Hey, Mr. Joe, do you want to send me a little blurb on the primary repeater and going back to the Friday night net on the 70
Yeah.
centimeter?
Yeah, I'll do that.
All right, thank you. And then Mary Jean, you're going to send me the program for August as well.
And I'll also send you something on the MS 150.
Okay, thank you.
And then Mike, I've also emailed Linda to check about the WildNet.
Okay, thank you.
All right, well, anything else, y'all? If not, we will, just on to leave. John, I think, is joining. Okay, well, if not, we will stand adjourned at 8:01.
Thanks, everybody.
Get on the net now.